Have you ever wondered how politicians always seem to get the public to see things their way, even when the facts don't add up? It's not magic, it's control over the narrative. In fact, studies show that 80% of voters make decisions based on what they hear from the media, not on their own research. This means that politicians have an enormous power to shape your thoughts, beliefs, and even how you vote. But how do they do it? Here's something even more shocking. According to a study by MIT, fake news spreads 6 times faster than true stories on social media. So, when politicians manipulate the facts, they're doing it with full awareness of how easily misinformation spreads. In this video, we'll explore the strategies politicians use to control what you think. From spinning the truth to using social media as a weapon, you'll see how everything around you is part of a bigger plan. We'll break down the methods they use to manipulate crises, shape history, and even create viral moments. Trust me, once you understand these tactics, you'll never see the news the same way again. Stay tuned, because the truth is about to get a lot clearer. Chapter 1: The Puppet Masters. How politicians shape the story. Politicians have mastered the art of controlling the narrative. They shape how we see events, what we think about, and even how we vote. By controlling the message, they control our perceptions. Think about how often we hear selective sound bites on the news. Politicians and their teams strategically release just the information that supports their agenda. For example, during a scandal, a politician's team might release a public apology paired with an unrelated positive policy initiative. This keeps the focus away from the problem and on their solution. In the 2016 US election, the use of Twitter became a direct way to bypass traditional media and get the politician's message straight to voters. They also craft their narrative through media training, teaching politicians how to answer questions while steering the conversation. This isn't just about avoiding tough questions, it's about reframing them in a way that aligns with their political message. Studies show that when politicians control the message, they can gain a significant advantage. A report by Pew Research found that 62% of Americans say they hear more negative news about politicians than positive, which is a clear sign of how powerful media manipulation is in shaping public opinion. Chapter 2: Spin Doctors and the Art of Misdirection. Every politician has a team of skilled, spin doctors, ready to shape the narrative in their favor. These experts turn facts into stories that appeal to emotions. When a politician faces criticism, spin doctors focus on shifting blame or highlighting an irrelevant issue to take the spotlight off the negative. In 2008, during the financial crisis, political leaders around the world used the media to make sure they weren't blamed for the economic downturn. Instead, they pointed to subprime mortgage markets or foreign investors as the cause. One of the most famous examples of spinning is the phrase, alternative facts, coined by Kellyanne Conway during the 2017 inauguration of Donald Trump. This concept of presenting a counter-narrative to make false claims seem truthful is an extreme but effective technique. The power of spin is simple: when you control the narrative, you influence how people think and feel about a situation. This strategy is not just limited to crises, either, it's used to sell policies, justify decisions, and maintain power. Chapter 3: Crisis Management or Narrative Reboot. A crisis can be a political gift if handled correctly. Politicians have long used crises to steer public opinion and even reframe their own failures. When things go wrong, it's an opportunity to tell a different story. Consider the 9/11 attacks. Politicians not only reacted to the crisis but used it as a springboard to shift public attention toward national security, setting the stage for policies like the Patriot Act. In times of national disaster, politicians often reveal new policy initiatives to appear proactive. During Hurricane Katrina, the Bush administration used the media to focus on recovery efforts and downplay the early mishandling of the crisis. Another interesting fact? According to a study by the University of Chicago, 60% of successful political campaigns are timed around a crisis. This highlights the strategic advantage of using a crisis to your benefit, even if you have little control over the situation. If you're enjoying this breakdown of political strategies, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more insights into how power really works. Chapter 4: Social Media Manipulation. Tweets, memes, and viral control. In the digital age, social media is the new battleground for controlling the narrative. Politicians use platforms like Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram to engage with the public directly, often bypassing traditional news outlets. In 2020, politicians used Twitter to push their policies directly to followers, sidestepping the media to get their messages across. The rise of memes and viral content has further shifted the way narratives are shaped. One tweet can go viral, drastically altering public opinion in just minutes. Former President Obama's "Yes, we can" slogan is a perfect example of how simple messaging, combined with social media, can create a cultural movement. During the 2016 US election, memes became a powerful tool to sway voters. A study by MIT found that false news stories were 70% more likely to be shared than true ones, proving how easily politicians can manipulate public opinion online. Chapter 5: The Fake News Game. Turning lies into truth. Fake news has become a buzzword in politics, but it's a real weapon in controlling the narrative. Politicians often use misinformation to discredit opponents or push a favorable agenda. During the 2016 US election, misinformation spread at an alarming rate across social media, with fabricated stories gaining more traction than factual news. The Washington Post reported that one of the most widely shared fake news stories was a hoax about the Pope endorsing Donald Trump, which fooled millions of voters. Politicians themselves often amplify these falsehoods, knowing that once a story is out there, it's hard to erase. A study by Oxford University found that political bots on social media are responsible for nearly 15% of the misinformation during election cycles. This makes controlling the flow of information even harder for voters, who are often left questioning what's real and what's fake. Chapter 6: The Long Game. How history gets rewritten. Politicians don't just control the present, they also rewrite the past. The way history is remembered is often shaped by political decisions. Take the way certain wars are portrayed in textbooks. Politicians and political movements carefully curate the narrative of historical events to make them appear favorable to their party or nation. In 2018, a controversial decision was made to remove civil rights history from Texas school textbooks to focus on a more patriotic version of American history. The narrative of past events can dramatically influence public opinion for generations. A book by historian Thomas Sugrue highlights how politicians use the narrative of the Great Depression to rally support for New Deal programs. By reframing the past, politicians make their policies seem like the only logical response to history. This long-term narrative manipulation is a tool used to secure future votes and maintain political influence. If this video opened your eyes to the power of narrative control, make sure to subscribe for more videos that dive deep into the strategies that shape our world. In conclusion, controlling the narrative is about more than just telling a story, it's about strategically using media, crises, and historical memory to manipulate public perception. From spin doctors and fake news to viral tweets and historical revisionism, politicians have mastered the techniques that help them stay in control. As voters, it's crucial to recognize these strategies and think critically about the information we consume. Only then can we understand the true power behind the narrative.